Today we are heading into Acadia National Park. Last night we camped at the Mount Desert Campground. It's a really nice campground. It did get a little chilly in the middle of the night, about like 48 degrees. We had a lot of blankets. We had Howie, our little furnace, to keep us warm. But yeah, if you're coming in October, it gets a little chilly at night if you're camping. But it's a really nice campground and we're really close to the park, so we're driving over right now. We are gonna hit up some popular spots in the park. We're gonna drive around Mount Desert Island and take in the sights. Yesterday we explored the Schoodic Peninsula and Schoodic Point, and if you want to see what that's like, we will put the link to that video in the description below. One thing we have noticed since we've been out here is that you should keep your park entrance pass on your windshield. So tape it somewhere, set it in your windshield, because they do come around and check your cars to make sure that you have it displayed and that you have paid for park entry, because you can get in with there isn't really a checkpoint to get in, so you can get in the park without paying. So they will check that to make sure that you did pay, and they'll write you a ticket. So we're driving through the park. We have a few things planned. We know that we're going to Cadillac Mountain for sunset. We had to book reservations ahead of time for your time slot to drive up. So it's popular and there's limited parking, kind of like most places in this park. Our time slot is 5:30. Jordan Pond was very busy at opening. We're gonna try and go back later. We'll see if we can get in. Everything I read ahead of time did say that it gets busy and that it can be long waits, but we don't really want to waste a lot of park time that we can be exploring, waiting in line to go have some pastries. We're going to try again later, just see if maybe the crowd thins out closer to the afternoon. But yeah, I guess everyone else had the same idea, to try to get there at opening time. Not surprising. But the park is beautiful. We have some fall colors popping in the pine trees of the park. It's a really beautiful park. We have been driving through the park, and it's kind of strange because you drive in the park and kind of out of the park, because it's not like the island isn't all just the park. There's towns and people live here as well. So we've been driving pretty much through the main part of the park, and now we are just stopped. And there's a bunch of traffic, and it says the entrance is ahead. There is a main entrance to the park. It's just all the way deep inside the park. And park is busy. We're here again in October, fall foliage. It's kind of the end of the season, and it's busy. It's pretty packed. So the park really is one big loop around. Sometimes it's kind of hard to tell on the map what is what, but you pretty much get on the main road and you can drive all the way through. There are a few entrance points, so like I mentioned before, you want to make sure that you have your pass displayed on your windshield so that they see it. But then there is the one big main entrance closer to Sand Beach when you're coming from Bar Harbor, where you can buy your pass when you're coming into the park. Our first major stop here in Acadia is Sand Beach.
It's a very beautiful beach.
It's a beautiful beach. It's a lot of people here enjoying the sun. It's about 65, 70 degrees, so it's pretty warm. There's some people in bathing suits. but a lot of people here enjoying this beautiful day, this beautiful beach. We left the beach and now we're hiking on Great Head Trail just above the beach. Probably won't go too far, we just want to see what kind of view we can get from a little bit higher up.
Well, this spot right here, overlooking Sand Beach, the ocean, you got the beautiful trees in the background. This is pretty much what we were imagining when we were planning our trip to Acadia. Hiking up beautiful rocks and hills, looking out at the ocean, and you got some of the fall colors behind us, and it really is absolutely spectacular. We're really enjoying this hike.
We finished up our hike off of Sand Beach, and now we are back in the car and driving along the ocean path here. It's a great option if you don't want to hike too hard, and it takes you to various spots along the way, various hot spots. So we're just kind of cruising along, popping out, taking pictures, and just enjoying this beautiful park. It really, the coastline is just amazing. We are now going to head out of the park to go grab some lunch. We have been on a lobster roll kick, so it's gonna be a little more of that today. We are going to head back to the park for sundown. I mentioned earlier we have reservations for sundown at 5:30, and the sun's supposed to go down a little after 6. So we are going to make sure that we are back in the park to head up Cadillac Mountain for sunset. For lunch today, we are heading over to the Travelin Lobster. We drove by yesterday on our way into the area around Acadia, and there was a pretty long line outside, so it's definitely a popular spot. Today they're only open from 2:30 to 6:30. It does change depending on the day and the time of year, so it's a short window of time for us to get our lobster rolls at the Travelin Lobster today. We are here waiting in line at the Travelin Lobster. We're gonna get some lobster rolls, we're gonna get some clam chowder. I don't know, maybe something else will grab our attention.
Can we get one clam chowder, one large hot roll, one mac and cheese, and a blueberry pie with ice cream. So the Travelin Lobster here in Maine does their lobster rolls in a variety of different ways, but one of the ways they do it is the hot lobster roll. That's where they take the lobster meat and they put it in a butter bath. So instead of doing cold with mayo, this lobster's hot. And here's the deal. We haven't eaten today, and I'm ready to dig in, so let's just go. Oh man, I see why people line up. The lobster is very fresh, it's so tender, and then on top of that, this bun is buttery soft. I mean, it's like you bit into a perfectly cooked stick of butter, if that makes any sense. And look at that claw meat. Oh man, look at the butter dripping off that. Well, it's my understanding that the hot lobster roll is the Connecticut style. But I have to say, while I enjoy the ones with a little bit of mayo that are served cold, right now this lobster roll is a king. But we're having a good time trying to figure out which one's the best in Maine.
So I lost count at which lobster roll this is. I think it's 3 or 4. I don't know. The crab roll doesn't exactly count, so I think this is 3. And they've all been amazing so far. I am excited to try a little twist on it. Oh my God. There is a lot of butter. It is so good. The bun is just like melting in your mouth. And you're left with so much lobster meat. There's so much, like, look at, this is just claw meat. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Wow.
So with the extra lobster meat that's falling off our roll, and there's a lot of meat on there, we're throwing it in the mac and cheese we got. So it's now a lobster mac and cheese. Oh my goodness. This is like a Havarti and cheddar mac and cheese, and it is creamy and delicious. When we were hiking on an empty stomach, which isn't very smart, but we don't have an empty stomach anymore. And this is the perfect creamy remedy. Mac and cheese with lobster, right there. Oh, the butter's still coming through. The guy in line in front of us said he got it for lunch yesterday and came back today because he had to have it again. And I get that.
All right. This is the first clam chowder we've had since we have been in New England. There's a ton of potatoes in here and clam meat. Oh, that's good. That's really good. Aside from the hot roll, their chowders are what they're really well known for, and this is amazing. This is making all my New England clam chowder dreams come true right now. Sometimes I serve it in a bread bowl. They did not have bread bowls today, but it's still amazing just on its own. I don't think I'm gonna share this at all. Since we got here, I've noticed that the line has like doubled in size. And like Adam said, there's a reason people wait in line for this food because everything has been great. We also ordered blueberry pie because, I mean, everywhere has it and it's homemade here. Adam went up to grab it at the counter.
We've learned our lesson. That's eat blueberry pie when you're in Maine. And we are doing that right now. Got blueberry pie with 2 scoops of Maine-made vanilla ice cream. Look at that. The blueberries in Maine are a bit smaller and they seem to be a bit sweeter. They're also, every time we've had them, they're just loaded with sugar, which also helps the sweetness. But you can't make this at home because you can't get these blueberries as good. You can't go to the store and buy a pint of blueberries and make this pie. You have to have blueberries from Maine, and they are, look at that. Oh, look at that. It's like Minnesota Vikings colors.
Ice cream is really good. I mean, I know vanilla ice cream isn't usually the most exciting ice cream, but
This one is topped with blueberry.
it's really good. Yeah, it's got the blueberry sauce. Yes, everything is homemade, everything is delicious, and I just think I'm gonna have a hard time like leaving the pie. That's not what I expected. I expected like, oh, I don't want to leave Maine. I've had so much delicious lobster. But I think I'm going to be thinking about this pie for a long time. I'm not usually a pie person, but Maine has changed me. Well, we finished up our meal at the Travelin Lobster. Everything was delicious from start to finish. I know we said it earlier, but we can see why people line up all day long to get their hot rolls, because there's so much lobster meat and so much flavor, so much buttery goodness. I had a great time. I'm surprisingly not sick of eating lobster yet, as many times as we've had it since we've been up here. Maybe we can get one more stop in while we're up here.
We can find another unique lobster roll.
We're trying to find unique lobster rolls. Everyone that we've had has had a little variation, and that keeps it fresh.
One of the things I really wanted to do when we were in Maine was get out on the water and kayak, and it's a really nice 70-degree day, just going along the shoreline here at our campground, and it's just really relaxing, a lot of fun, and boy, glad I had this experience because it's a good one.
After our lunch, we took a quick break. I napped a little bit back at the campsite, and Adam went kayaking. I'm a little jealous that I didn't go, but I needed a little rest after all that lobster we ate for lunch. Now we are heading back into Acadia because we're heading up Cadillac Mountain for sunset. It's been a beautiful day here, and the sun has been out, and it's been really warm and not cloudy at all. Some parts on our trip have been rainy and overcast out this way, and we've gotten so lucky the 2 days that we've been up here at the park. So now we're heading up for sunset. This is Cadillac Mountain. It has been on all the lists as a must-do when you come to Acadia. So I'm looking forward to getting up there and seeing the view of the whole park from up on top. Cadillac Mountain is actually the highest point on the East Coast, and from October to March, it is the first place that you can see the sunrise in the United States. All right, we checked in at the entrance for Cadillac Mountain. Like I said, you do have to reserve your time slot ahead of time before they'll let you in, because it's a popular destination, and it can get pretty crowded up here, and the parking lot can get crowded. The drive up here has been really beautiful so far. The leaves are changing and the sun is setting. It's just gorgeous. Well, we made it to the top of Cadillac Mountain. Beautiful drive up and just an incredible view as far as the eye can see. We feel like pictures never do places like this justice. Right now we're on the east side. We're gonna head over to the west side towards the sunset, see how it looks over there. Well, that sunset was the perfect end to our day here in Acadia. Even Howie thoroughly enjoyed it. There were a lot of dogs around. But just such a beautiful place, an amazing setting to watch the sunset, because I feel like so often when you're in the mountains, you don't get to see a sunset like that because the mountains are usually hiding it. This is definitely a must-do if you're in Acadia National Park, because Cadillac Mountain brings the views. It's been the best views of the day. You get 360 of the whole park as far as the eye can see. If you've been to Acadia and you've come to Cadillac Mountain for sunrise, let us know what that's like in the comments below, because we don't usually get up that early, but I imagine it's pretty spectacular. It's a pretty special place to watch the sunrise as well as the sunset. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. You always stay in the loop, and
we'll catch you on the next one.